Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have another Kamala Harris campaign situation. We remember the AI. They originally said, no, the image is an alter. Then they said, okay, we altered it. It was a filter. And now we've got this. The Harris campaign has been editing headlines and descriptions within Google search ads that make it appear as if Guardian, Reuters, CBS News, and other major publishers are on her side being Kamala, obviously. That's according to Axios. They did a whole story on it. You can see, maybe we can zoom in on this and see exactly what they're talking about, so you can see all of these articles. And you would think, all right, they're just sponsoring what the AP is saying, or they're just sponsoring what USA Today is saying, or CNN, you know, who is Kamala Harris? They want to sponsor that. Guys, that's not what's happening here. What's happening is they are changing the headlines and then acting like it's from, you know, it's the original headline from Reuters or from CNN. Harris will lower health. I mean, it doesn't even sound realistic in terms of the headlines. It just says Harris will lower health costs. That's just a pure propaganda thing. That's really, I mean, to be fair, obviously we do know the media is very far left, but it's just the way it's done. Tim Walz, military service, 24 years in the National Guard. It's just the way that the headlines are written. You know they're not organic when you look at them. Inflation is down. That's the only thing it says. And then when you click on it, it's the actual article from Reuters, but the headline is different. So they're trying to basically make it seem like all of these top, you know, like CNN, and they're all saying stuff that's positive for Harris. I mean, to be honest, they probably don't need to do this. They'll already say it anyways, but they've been editing news headlines and descriptions within Google search ads that make it appear as if all of these different publishers. Why does it matter? It's a common practice in the commercial advertising world that doesn't violate Google policies, but the ads mimic real news results from search closely enough that they have news outlets caught off guard. According to Google's Ad Transparency Center, the Trump campaign is not running these type of ads, but the technique has been used by other campaigns before. So it looks like Trump is not doing it. And you've got CNN, USA Today, NPR admitting that they were unaware that this was happening. And so you can see Facebook banned the ability for advertisers to edit text from instant article news links in their ads in 2017. So again, the instant article news link is when you click on the actual top headline. So obviously if I was searching on Google, this would be clickable, and it's like in light blue or whatever. That's what's being edited. It's not that they're just promoting the certain, you know, AP News saying something good about Harris. They're editing the headline to change it. VP Harris's economic vision, lower costs and higher wages. What is this crap? Harris picks Tim Walz, 215K Minnesota families win. These aren't even realistic headlines. They're just not realistic headlines. Why would just the news, it's just not. So this is obviously ridiculous. It's pure manipulation. We know about the AI, the way they manipulated the rallies, and they came out and they said, no, it's a totally organic image. And they said, okay, it's a filter that we changed on it. And now it's come out when it comes to that photo that I originally talked about on the tarmac. They had everyone in a line rather than spreading it out because they wanted to make it seem like it's more full. Going from the plane to where the rally is, they said go in a narrow line to make it seem like it's more full and we can get this photo. So they had people there and they're like, oh, there's videos. Yeah, because they're in a narrow line rather than everyone spreading out. That also came out in the news as well. And then you've got them saying, and I saw people doing live streams about Kamala Harris's campaign saying, look at that crowd. The past 2 or 3 rallies I've covered, they say, oh, it's sold out. No. Look at all the curtains coming down over the upper deck. It's not sold out. They bring the curtains down. Trump's never had to do that once. He's not going to have to do it. He sells out every event. It's not even close. So these are real things happening, but this might be the most pathetic one yet when you look at it, because at least they can try and argue it, the last one, and say it's a filter. But this stuff, it's not just that, because you could understand, well, it also came out that was so weird that the Washington Post was putting out fluff pieces for Kamala Harris and running ads on it. So you know on X how you get ads on your timeline? There'll be like 5 or 6 things and then you get an ad. I think if you have the premium version, you don't get it, but if you don't, you get the ads. And it's like a puff piece on Kamala Harris, and it's the Washington Post, and it's like, why are you promoting and paying for ads for Kamala Harris and a fluff piece? You're supposed to be just non-biased. Obviously, they're admitting they're not, But it would be one thing if she just saw positive headlines about her, or her campaign did, like from CNN, because I'm sure there are plenty, and just promoted that certain article in search results, which is kind of manipulation, but at least it's just, you're not changing it. But I mean, all these, do we have like an actual, I'd like to see all the headlines because it is hilarious. Oh, they're not going to show it. I don't know. Is this like a photo I can click on? Because I want to see what the January 6th rioters, VP Harris protects democracy. Inflation is down. It's just such a dumb headline. And Reuters. It just doesn't make any sense, but it's funny. I mean, that's what they're doing now. And it seems like every day something is coming out. You can see that is that. So there's that going on. You've also got this. This is crazy what CNN did with the Elon Trump conversation. So if you guys remember when Elon and Trump were talking about nuclear and potentially nuclear energy, which is something it seems like conservatives are embracing more than liberals, possibly using nuclear energy. People are obviously concerned about a Chernobyl event, something going bad. And Musk just said that Hiroshima and Nagasaki, when the bombs were dropped, the radiation levels, it's so low, they're completely rebuilt. I will say Musk, it's different with a nuclear meltdown. It's a lot worse than just dropping those bombs. But Musk was right. I mean, obviously those places, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they're already rebuilt. So he wasn't downplaying the bombs. He was saying those got dropped in 45 and it's already been rebuilt a long time ago. The radiation levels weren't bad. But again, if you build a nuclear plant and it melts down, it's going to be a lot different, obviously, than just, in 1945, the technology that we had to drop those bombs. But she says, like, oh, he's downplaying Hiroshima and Nagasaki because he says there weren't bad levels of radiation and it's totally spun, which is obviously just a complete and like, why even do that? It's just so pathetic. Like, it's just so icky to do that. You're just manipulating what he's saying. He was coming towards the end of his statement and they were talking about nuclear energy. And he said, yes, I know people are worried about it, the radiation problem, what if something happens? But there were 2 bombs that got dropped, and they've already recovered. People are living there. There's no radiation problem, so maybe it's not as bad as we think. They completely clipped him out of context. And it's like, I know people will buy it and stuff, but I just, like, once you realize this stuff, it's just so pathetic. It really is. This is interesting. So this dude's he's been on CNN. He's like their polling guy. He's been pretty, optimistic for Trump, or at least trying to be fair. You can see August 13th, how far off was Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. This is Rust Belt. This is the huge polls that everyone is looking at. This is a comparison. In 2016, in August of 2016, I should say, a 9-point in terms of how off it was for Hillary. So they were underestimating Trump by 9 points across those 3 important swing states. And in 2020, it was 5 points. So a little bit less in 2020. But obviously, he's saying that don't be surprised. And I think a lot of this polling is ridiculous. Any poll that has Harris up by like 4 or 5 in any of the swing states, outside of maybe, state like Minnesota, I could see Minnesota slightly trending towards Harris right now. A lot of these polls are crap. People are looking at the demographics and how people are leaning and stuff, and it's saying like Harris is winning, like, white dudes, 45-year-old white dudes, like 70 to 30. It's just all crap data. It's all fake. So when you've got data like that, and remember, we've dealt with these in the past. We've had polls. I mean, we had Florida polls in 2020 that had Biden winning by 10 points 3 days before the election. You had Wisconsin polls, the ABC poll with Biden winning by 17 points. It's just completely off. So when it comes to these, people have definitely been critical of Trump's campaign for him not going into the swing states last week. I think it's a combination in terms of why Harris has went ahead. I think it's adversity, whatever. I don't see Trump losing to Harris personally. That's, it's like these people curl up into a ball. Oh my God, she's winning a poll. Who cares? I mean, we saw Biden win all these. I mean, Biden did win, but like they had Biden. Well, there's a number of reasons why he won, first of all, but they had Biden like up in everything. It was going to be this massive blowout, and of course, it's decided by like 40K votes. And then Hillary, it was even worse. And this is just something interesting. I've been following the voter registration here recently, and the Democrats' advantage over Republicans has dropped by about 330K since the last election. You can see November 3rd of 2020, they had an advantage of almost 700K. So, the Republicans were certainly facing an uphill battle. they only ended up winning by 80K. So Republicans significantly overperformed their registration, and now it's been basically cut in half. So if they've got an advantage of almost 700K and Republicans only lose by 80K, what's going to happen now that their advantage in terms of voter registration has dropped, basically cut in half? You would think that would correlate with a Republican victory by about, maybe 200K. Now, obviously, it's not going to, exactly align like that. There's going to be, some differences. But still, it's very interesting to see when it comes to Pennsylvania. So good news coming out of Pennsylvania. Either way, guys, it is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.